I tried to speak to my brother about therapy, but instead, we had a huge fight and now I don't know what to say. I already know I have unresolved trauma from my childhood after I lost my mom when I was 6 years old, so I have started to go to therapy, but it has unearthed a lot of repressed memories about my brother. I spoke to him about it. We had a huge fight and now he won't talk to me. My brother and I became inseparable when we were little, but he was always very volatile and started acting up a lot when he was 10. He would have tantrums at family events, pick fights with kids at school and bully me at home by damaging my toys and pulling my hair. I love him now, but I didn't like him when we were growing up because of how aggressive he was with me. He would hit me if I made a mistake, or mock me in front of my friends as a teenager. I have recently been diagnosed with anxiety and OCD, which has been having a big impact on my relationship with my husband. I get really fixated on life's problems, catastrophize about everything and struggle to regulate my emotions. Last week we both went to visit Dad, and everything was going well until I raised that I had started therapy. I told them both that while I love my brother, his actions as a kid might have had something to do with what I am going through now. He got really upset and refused to take any accountability or listen. I wasn't asking him to be okay with it. If anything, I was trying to talk about it because it has been playing on my mind and I wanted to understand more from his perspective. My dad got in the middle of our fight, which made it all so much worse. My brother said it's not fair. I was a kid and now I am being made to look like the bad guy. I was just as hurt as you. I totally understood how he was feeling, but growing up with such an angry brother was hard. Every time I experience any conflict, I break down and then panic about how I come across to people and the consequences of not being able to deal with problems. Last week at work, I missed a deadline and my boss pulled me aside. She didn't do anything wrong. In fact, she was reasonable, but I spiraled out of control and had a panic attack in the middle of her office. She has insisted I take a sabbatical after I explain to her what I am going through. I feel terrible about upsetting my brother because after we had our fight, he accidentally knocked over a beer bottle and it smashed all over the kitchen floor. My dad turned to him and shouted, "Get out of the way. You're such a screw-up." I thought that was mean and told Dad to apologize. Dad said to him, "I didn't want you to cut yourself on the glass. I'm sorry I called you a screw-up." But I think it has further compounded my brother's insecurities because apparently he keeps making jokes about being the family loser. I want to work on my relationship with my brother, so I asked if he would go to therapy with me. Maybe he needs some help too? Last night he told Dad that I am being a baby and that I need to grow up and stop blaming everyone else for my issues. I think it may have been a mistake talking to my brother about therapy. Am I in the wrong?